Okay guys, I'm just going to make a video on some basic keys just to get you started off with animation. So I've got a box and we're just going to go over just some simple keys, keyframes and what they are. Now keyframes are little bits of like boxes of data that store where your object is or some settings or whatever you're choosing to animate. So at the minute we're just going to choose to animate the transform. So the transform is the XYZ position, rotation or scale. Now you've seen this thing down here. This is the timeline. Now I'm gonna assume you know some things because we did do a session on this. So we've got the timeline, and if we hit our auto key, it's going to start recording stuff. So you got to be careful with this, that we don't hit some settings in here like the length, width, height or segments, because it will animate these things. We're just going to animate the position of this at the minute. So at present this at frame 0 is there. Okay, I'm going to go to frame 10 and I'm going to move this across, and what's going to happen is you're going to see two little red keys, and the red keys indicate position keys. Okay, so it's just saying I've keyframed the position. Okay, so if I scrub the timeline, you're going to see what happens. It's going to go from one side to the next. If you hit the question mark key, it's going to play the timeline. Okay, now if you do want to shrink the timeline a little bit, we can go to time configuration at the bottom and just change the end time to 20. So I'm going to have 20 frames. Okay, now that's quite quick. And to slow it down, obviously, it's in one place and then it's in another place, and the time it takes is the frames between. Okay, now if there's more frames between, then it's going to take longer. So if I was to move this key, so I can just select this key and just move it to frame 20, it's actually going to be a little bit slower. And this is timing and spacing, which is a principle of motion. Okay, that being said, I can do the opposite thing. I can move frame 20, I can move it to frame 5, and watch how quick this is. Okay, super quick. Okay, so I'm going to delete this frame. I'm going to delete that frame as well, just for good measure, so I've got nothing. Okay, now if I'm on frame 0 and I move this in here, it's not going to create a frame because I'm on frame 0. It doesn't matter. Okay, what I am going to do is I'm going to move it. I'm going to go to frame 10 again. I'm going to move it that way, but I'm also going to rotate it only a little bit. So I'm just going to rotate it, and you'll see it's created a green frame. So what's going to happen is it's going to rotate. Now you can try this on its own. I'm going to delete these keys. I'm going to go to frame 10. I'm just going to rotate it just to see, and you'll see the green key by itself because there's no position data anymore, and it's going to rotate. Okay, and we can try this with scale as well. We can go to the scale tool. We're going to go to frame 10. I'm just going to delete the rotation like this. You get the hang of it. Okay, it's fairly straightforward, and we can do all three. We can say, okay, so at this at frame 10 we're going to have it move over here, we're going to have it scaled up, and we're going to have it rotated maybe this way. So we're going to have something like that. Okay, and this is basic keyframe stuff. I'm going to delete that, and there we go. That's simple keyframe stuff.